Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague, with like always is Noah Bailey. So, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game came out kind of recently, and it is, in a word, disappointing.
It's one word for it.
Like, it's definitely not what I personally would do if I were making a Suicide Squad game. So I thought I would make one. Like, just the very concept of a Suicide Squad game to me is super intriguing because, like, the idea that you have this group of expendable characters that, like, as you're playing they could potentially die, and, like, you know that's it, like, it's their,
Actually,
yeah, just seems so cool from a gameplay perspective. Like, there are certain places that you can't get to if a certain character is dead, or, like, certain conversations you just can never have that playthrough because that the character they would have that with is dead already. Um, like, boss fights would be easier if you had certain things. I just feel like the idea of a Suicide Squad game should work really well. However, the way the game turned out, there's only four heroes. At least like in the base game, there's only four characters, and if you die, you just start over. Like, it's so weird. I don't know why it's Suicide Squad if that's how you're gonna play it, but
yeah, I'm not sure what the goal was for the game because it just seems because it's this like live play game or whatever, but it's also trying
Mhm.
to have a story, but it's like I don't know what you're trying to do
Yeah,
here, and yeah, it's only
like,
four characters. They're not they're different, but they're not like
mhm. It's
it's
like they
weird,
saw that Avengers game, which also didn't do very well at all, like
right?
about 4 years ago, like already has shut down within the time this game got announced and finally came out. Like, that game worked at least a little better conceptually because there are a million Avengers in that game. Not as many as there should be, not the ones you necessarily would want overall, but, like, there are way more playable characters, and I think it just works better as a game. Again, still, it didn't turn out great, but it's at least conceptually a little better as a live service game. Um, and also, I feel like my other, like, number one complaint about the Suicide Squad game is just the scale of it is way out of whack. Like, why the heck are they fighting Brainiac? Why are they fighting Superman? Why is, like, this isn't, or at least the entire Justice League in this way? This seems way over their pay grade. Amanda Waller should, I don't know, pick better people if this is if this is,
That's yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of my initial thoughts too, because it's like, okay, you got like I get it's seemingly shorthanded because this is kind of an active situation. But if you're gonna fight the Justice League, I mean, there's only five of them. But I mean, you pick three non-superpowered people
Mm-hmm.
and King Shark, and it's like I mean, if it was like just like one of them, maybe. But I mean, there's already more Justice Leaguers than you have group members already. So you're already outnumbered.
Yes.
Not to mention, at least half of them can destroy the planet if they want it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Yeah.
probably need a little more firepower. Your team seems
Mm-hmm.
extremely out of their depth.
Yeah. And I just feel like the Suicide Squad should, like, I feel like that is a team that their whole motif should be, doing the dirty work that, like, like, undercover jobs, like get in, get out type of thing. Like, like they can escalate, like, as the story progresses, like the Suicide Squad movie, where, like, Starro wasn't originally really the end game. That only, like, Starro only emerged because their mission went wrong, and, like, it went astronomically bad for them. But it's not like they weren't there to stop Starro. Like, I like
Right.
how that progressed.
Right. It's like
But
They weren't like Starro happened. They wasn't the plan.
yeah, so, like, when when forming this game in my head, I essentially kind of started with two ideas: who will be on the team and what is the mission. So starting with the 7 members that I have on the team. Um,
Okay.
I feel like 7. I just like that number. I
It's
feel like
fair.
it's a good number to like, or like they can break off into groups as you play, or like, or even like, as you're playing, that's a good number where like, a good chunk of them to die, and it still feels like you can progress reasonably within that playthrough. Um, and I keep saying that playthrough. Essentially, the way I kind of see this game structured is like kind of like a roguelike where it's relatively short, especially if we're assuming it's still a Rocksteady style game. It's
Mm.
a relatively short game relative to other superhero games, and like you play through the game, and like if people die, or like if your entire team wipes, you basically start over from the very beginning.
Okay.
Because yeah, like the mission's over. Like you can't go anymore, but the game just resets. And then if you do beat the entire game, but you're left with only 2 people, like you can replay from the start with the entire team, and just do everything you can to beat the whole game with everyone still there. And like I said, I
Mm.
just like the idea of there being certain like shortcuts you could take, or like certain paths or enemies that are easier if you have certain characters still on your team.
Mm.
Um,
That makes sense.
yeah, just give each character a unique task that
Yes.
makes it that they don't feel like, oh, it's just 4 people shooting guns a lot, which again is what the actual game is. Why the heck is Boomerang? Like, whatever, it's fine.
So stupid. Why does King Shark have
Boomerang
a
should
gun?
not have
Why
a
does
shotgun. That's so weird.
it's so like it's especially weird because like in the cutscenes he has boomerangs.
Uh-huh. And
So
like
it's
it's
kind of
not
like
that
why is he using that?
like a couple of his moves utilize boomerangs. Like he has that one that like he teleports with, and a couple of his things kind of like the batarangs, but his main weapons are guns. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't love that. But
Yeah. Um,
yeah, no.
yeah. And like as you're progressing through the game, there are certain points where like you can get upgrades to your items, or you can like if you're like dead shot, you can like you come up to a point where you can like you start off with automatic rifle. You can switch it out for a shotgun or a sniper rifle, or like there stuff like that. I feel will to help make each playthrough unique. 'Cause that's the main thing about
Mhm.
roguelikes, where like the whole point is you want players to continue to play over and over again, forever
Right.
ideally. And the key to that is to make every playthrough feel unique.
Right. There's
So
a reason to play more than once.
yeah, yeah. So you can play through the entire game with as one single character. You can play with jumping between people. You can like take different paths with different characters. I feel like there's a lot of potential for that style of game in a Suicide Squad universe. So
Agreed.
here are the 7 characters that I personally feel make sense on the team.
Okay. Of
Um, we have Harley Quinn, who is
course.
like the mid-range character, and I think Harley Quinn's role on the team is essentially like a trapper type character, where she throws out those like explodable marbles, or has like those like teeth that if someone comes,
Okay,
they
yeah.
attack them, or like smoke bombs. Like I just feel like she used just like a lot of gadgets and little like gag gag devices that act as like stunning grenades, just that type of thing. I feel worked, and she can obviously use her hammer or her pistol, but like I feel as far as to be cohesive with the rest of the team, I feel like a trapper type character should work, should be on the team. I feel
Gives
like she
her
works.
yeah, it gives her more variety too. Okay.
Yeah, Deadshot. obviously. At least one character who actually does use the gun. I feel that makes sense.
Right. But I mean, that's his thing. It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obviously, range attacks. He's the presumed leader of the team. Um, Captain Boomerang is still on the team. Uh, Actually, using various different kinds of boomerangs, a la, like Green Arrow, where he has explodey ones, just various different kinds
Like the
of ones.
tricks and yeah.
Yeah, was it like balance between different enemies? Yeah, and I think I one of the very few things I actually did really like about the the 2016 Suicide Squad movie is that moment where Boomer has that one boomerang that kind of floats there to scope out what like a room they're about to go into, and then it came back to him.
Mm,
I
makes sense.
I like the idea of Captain Boomerang being able to do that in this game, either throwing it out to peek around a corner or solve puzzles with it, like
Oh.
throw it out it hits two security switches at the same time to turn off something. I feel like that maybe it's very Zelda inspired. That's what a lot of the top down Zelda games do with their boomerangs. I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
works. Um, Next up, we have Killer Frost.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, also mid
Yeah.
range. I really like the idea of Killer Frost being there for helping with traversal. She makes ice to go across the floor that you can slide on that just make people go faster. You make ice walls
Right.
that block people or launch people up in the air to get better vantage points and stuff.
Like raw
Which
power, but also support.
yes,
Makes sense.
yeah. The next one I kind of have between two, but I'm leaning more towards one. I
Okay.
originally thought about Bronze Tiger because I wanted there to be one character who was purely close range,
Yeah.
but I kind of also really like the idea of Black Spider, who essentially is this character is
Mm.
this game's basically if you want to play as Batman in this game, basically play as Black Spider. It'll be a little different, but he's the one who will play as
Pretty much
every
the same idea.
yeah. He'll have
Okay.
he'll have some range attacks, but he'll do a lot of punching and flips and that type of thing. They could
Mm.
potentially both be on there, but I of the ones that I thought of, I feel like Bronze Tiger maybe could be used for a sequel or something else down the line. But
Mm.
yeah, um, yeah, and also Black Spider, just like the Arkham Batman, he's very much so a stealth character. So if you
Right.
enter a room and if you don't want to alert the guards, whatever, you switch to him and sneak in there and either take him out systematically or just get in there without getting noticed at all and just move on.
That's what, 5?
uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5.
Okay.
Next up, Blockbuster. He's one
Ooh.
big guy. He's one big
Yeah.
strong guy.
Interesting choice.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I originally had King Shark, but I was like,
Right.
I don't really like King Shark if there's no water. I feel like,
It's still very formidable even without it.
yeah, I like King Shark's character a lot, but I feel like I have an idea for something down the line that I think King Shark will work better for,
Okay.
which we'll get to later. But I feel like I just you need someone who's the tank who can lift barrels or lift doors if they're
Hmm.
jammed or something. And if you don't have him, then you have to find some other way around or whatever. But if you have him, you can just lift it up
Yeah,
and you
it's
can
a lot. It's a lot harder to do just smash stuff and get around. You have to actually move around. You can't just run through stuff when everything goes
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's 6. There's one other character that I want to be on the team that doesn't actually start out on the team that I'm going to get to later.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and it's one of those that you just I love it so much when your nerd brain just like starts thinking and like, oh, that would be, I wonder which character could fill this niche. Oh, read their Wikipedia page halfway through was like, oh, that connects to this, that perfect. Okay. So the conceit of this game is essentially Amanda Waller really, really wants the Phantom Zone generator gun.
Ooh, I love where this is going already.
Yes. Um,
Yep, I'm
so,
in.
she feels like that's something that the government can use. She doesn't like how the supers have it. She doesn't think that it should just be this thing that Superman just has. She wants that.
Yeah, yeah, typical
And
Waller stuff.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I want that to be her stated goal or if I want her stated goal just to be like there's information that Superman has in the Forces of Solitude that I need y'all to get. And then Killer Frost or someone else on the team can like have a side thing where it's like, get me that. you know?
I mean, I feel like I feel like it could be fine that be the stated goal, and then something else could even be like something that she didn't even know was in there could be a
Mm,
thing. Like maybe like or maybe they don't maybe like they don't even know about the Phantom Zone generator, or they have heard about it but didn't know it was there, and then they're like, wait, it's not on the Watchtower, it's here. Get that
mm,
or whatever, or like because there's a lot of stuff in the Fortress of Solitude that's really useful.
yeah. Yeah, like there's a whole computer with
Tons
just
of Kryptonian
tons of
knowledge.
files and
That'd probably be something Waller would want.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like her stated goal was that she wants some technology or some data from that computer that she feels that
Mhm.
the government could use to for some altruistic purpose that is actually going to become some super
Yeah.
weapon or something.
Yeah.
But
Totally for ethical reasons, kind of
oh
thing.
yes, absolutely. But in
100%.
the end, she's hoping to get her hands on that gun. And in order to get into the Forces of Solitude, it helps if she actually knows where it is. Because she
Yeah.
knows that it exists, but she doesn't know exactly where or how to get in there. And however, she does know that Superman has worked very closely before with Star Labs. So her
Mm.
initial mission is to get into Star Labs, sneak past all the guards, all security and stuff, uh, um, like find Dr. Hamilton, have him or
Mm.
whatever doctor scientist person. I say Dr. Hamilton because that's from the Superman animated series.
Yeah, I mean that's the
Um,
first one I thought of. Yeah.
yeah, get him to give you the files that you can actually find it. Um, uh, and the like the thing that got my nerd brain going is I was like, if they're gonna hack into the Forces of Solitude, I feel like there should be one character who is a hacker or a technopath or something that could help them throughout the way. And I was like, Gizmo seems like a fun character who could be on a team like this. He's never technically
Hmm.
been in the Suicide Squad, but he could be in this one. He's been on other supervillain teams. Like I don't think it would be that hard of a stretch just to put him
Yeah.
there. And like when it was,
Have you seen the
hmm?
they have he's actually in the game actually.
Oh yes, oh nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's actually that was a good call. Yeah.
So like when just thinking about him, like he's a potential guy. Let me just look up his powers and just vet
Hmm.
him real quick. And yeah, turns out he actually works at Star Labs. So yeah, there it
Well,
is.
we
Like
have found
after he,
actually, um,
yeah, something about like he either got his mind wiped or he pleaded to like work for them to as like part of his sentence or something. It was yeah, something like that. But like early on early on in the game, Waller will mention something about her having a a guy on the inside who's told her that that Hamilton has his data, but he won't actually give it to her. Um, so at some point while you're in Star Labs, you have to find Gizmo to like help hack into the computer or whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay, cool.
yeah, and I at the end of this Star Labs section of the game, I just think it'd be really cool if you fought some like actual superhero, at least one superhero as you go,
Okay.
and not like not anyone huge, but just someone who for the first major boss would be a decent enough match that like no like not anyone up at Superman's level. I think for some reason in my head I keep coming back to the idea of just how cool a fight against Metamorpho would be.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I also thought about someone like a Green Arrow or a Hawkman might be the top tier of strength I'm going for, but just having it, this is one of those cases where like you're fighting Metamorpho, and if you still have Killer Frost on your team, she would make that fight way easier because she could like
Mhm.
I feel like freezing him would be pretty helpful. Like he like shoots out his
That would.
like his arm, and she can like freeze it and then shatter it, and he's like staggered for a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
think.
like yeah, but if you only have the people who like do concussive damage, it's gonna be at least take a lot longer. He's gonna morph into
Mhm.
smoke or like make his body really tough. Just I feel like there's a lot of elements about him that just would make a very fun boss fight for this team.
I like it. Yeah, especially he's very versatile and very lot, so he
Mm.
lets you kind of use all of your team's resources. That'd be great.
Yeah, I am definitely open to having multiple like different heroes in Star Labs. I feel like that facility is connected to a lot of different heroes. Was there anyone that immediately jumped to your mind when I said Star Labs?
Um, I don't know why I was thinking Captain Atom, but I feel like that's too much.
Yeah, I thought about him. Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah, I
if we
thought about
want to do
him.
the character right,
Thought
that's
about
not
him. I
fair.
thought about Firestorm, but again, Firestorm
Yeah,
can
oh,
be
that's too
pretty strong.
broken. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's unfair. I
yeah,
mean, but then again, Metamorpho can be kind of busted too. So I guess but I think Metamorpho works well
yeah. Like
because
he's
like
definitely like a C tier hero who, if the writers allowed him to be ridiculous, could easily be could
right,
be way stronger.
right. It's like, oh yeah, I can just beat everything. Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's not great.
yeah. Um, uh, but yeah, like when you're making a when you're making a superhero game, you do kind of have to balance the the canon strength of a character with
Mhm.
the feasibility of that working in a game. So like he's essentially as strong as a first major boss of a game should be. So still
Right.
pretty strong. Like you probably if you don't really know what you're doing, you probably will lose at least one member of your team doing this. But
Mhm.
you know, and like as you're going through Star Labs, there could potentially be other like other robots or like bigger security guards. So like there might be resistance throughout, but I feel like Metamorpho would be a nice cat for the first I really like first third of this game.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think it's one of those things where it's like it's a first boss, but it's still the first boss kind of thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's not that serious,
Hmm.
but it can still wreck you if you're not careful.
Hmm. Okay.
I like
So
it. Okay.
yeah. So once they get out of Star Labs, um, I think it would be kind of fun if if Deadshot like starts having concerns about the fact that they're going to be fighting Superman potentially. He's like, now Waller, I I understand that you assured us that Superman is off-world doing something, but he's really fast. He could come back any moment.
Yeah, like
She's
you're
like, I
like
told you he won't. Like, what if he is though?
he's like, look, I hear you, and you're right, but just listen for a second. What if you're wrong? Like, because it is
Like,
Superman, and I mean, like, what if he has like, you know what I mean? You're like, no, Superman's like, what if he has like a ring or something? Like, you know, they can like, what if we go there and he's like,
yeah,
who's over at my house? And then he just light blitzes us at a billion miles an hour.
exactly. Like there's so many ways that this could go wrong, especially since this like some of these people, some of the members of your team have powers, but not all of them are Superman level equipped. Like
Who is though?
yeah, like Blockbuster could take a couple hits maybe. Killer Frost might hold him
Not
off
really.
for a second.
I mean, not really though, because it's like between heat vision and also just dodge, you're kind
Yeah,
of out of luck.
yeah, it's not like Flash. We're slowing him down. Actually, shooting ice at him slows him down.
Well, yeah,
That
you
doesn't
can
really
like
work.
fly around and heat vision everything. So
Yeah. So so after their after Deadshot's able to like talk to her, and one thing I envisioned about this is similar to the Assault on Arkham movie. I like the idea that some of these members have done this before, while others are
mm,
new to it. I like the idea that at least Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang have been on a team before.
not their first rodeo.
Yeah. And I would even there's a little bit of foreshadowing to something I'm going to hint on later, but I would like the idea if at some point Deadshot just kind of mentions like, and will Rick Flag be leading this team? And she's like, he's off, uh, um,
Mm.
like on another mission or something, or like he's on some classified mission right now, and that'll be something for later. But regardless, after they're able to talk while we're down, she's like, okay, look, you, I don't recommend you do this, but we have intel that LexCorp has been developing some kind of kryptonite bullet. And if you want
Mm.
to, it will not be like like you're already all expendable. If you all die doing this, I can get another team to do it for you. But like, if you want to try and get out alive, go for it. So um but like while you're there, I would kind of like if you now since Gizmo is with you, if you could get him to hack into LexCorp's computer because there's some data he has that we know he's keeping from us. Like, but you're there if you're going there to to get the bullet, you might as well do this while you're there. Um, so yeah, they gotta go invade LexCorp building now. So
But like, wouldn't that makes I like assuming you were on Superman's radar? Wouldn't that put you more on Superman's radar? I mean,
I was
granted, I
about to
know
say,
Superman's. I know, but I'm from their logic, or at least from Deadshot's logic about like, well, that doesn't help. Why would I go to Metropolis to get away from Superman?
would you rather fight Superman or would you rather fight Lex? Lex Luthor.
I
Like,
mean,
well,
depends on
I
the day. At
mean,
least Superman won't kill you.
yeah, but like Lex at least isn't. Yeah, he's strong, but he's not Superman. Like,
I
he
mean,
has a lot of
yeah,
toys that help him fight Superman. He won't necessarily be able to fight Blockbuster or Killer Frost.
yeah, but I mean, if he's got weapons that can work with Superman, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's why Waller she doesn't recommend it. But if you really want this bullet, you know, they,
We're on a time
um,
crunch, but if you
yeah.
want to,
So yeah, they go there. There's at least one mini boss in the middle of that against Mercy.
okay.
Um,
Nice,
yeah, I don't
nice.
I'm not sure if I want her to be the one from Young Justice where she's a cyborg or if she's just a really good. Like,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I kind of like her being a cyborg for two reasons. One, I don't see Rex trusting another person. I just
yeah.
don't. He just seems too like it just doesn't seem like something he would do, and I think it sets him differently from other people. I just don't see him trusting another person. And two, I just think it's cool. It was a very unexpected, but very like I don't know, it just seems cool to me, and I think it would also make for a better boss fight because it's like
absolutely,
even if she is
like,
really good.
yeah, the the main reason I was kind of thinking about not doing her being a cyborg is in my head, a lot of the enemies you're going to be fighting, especially in the Forces of Solitude, but even in LexCorp, probably going to be a lot of robots anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know if Mercy also being a cyborg would feel redundant at that point if you've already fought like a bunch of other robots and she's also part robot. But I think she would still fight very differently than these other robots, so I think it will be fine.
Right. She wouldn't be generic. And I think it'd be better, like, at first you don't realize she's a robot. Maybe she has like stages.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
they're like, you fight her and everything, and then like halfway through, you're like, okay, we gotta get rid of this person. And then she like throws Blockbuster or something. You're like, oh
Yeah, and then like after you realize that she's a robot, like if you still have Gizmo around, you're like, "Hey, Gizmo, like, would you be able to hack into her?" So like, I guess if you can distract her long enough. So like Gizmo like hops on her back and like can mess with her, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, and then uh, or you could just fight her like normal.
Yeah.
Um, and then like after you get the kryptonite bullet, Luthor actually does show up in his big dumb green suit because I love Luthor in his big dumb green suit. It's like I know Waller's been monitoring me. Like I know why y'all are here. Like as much as I would love for y'all to, much as Superman is a common enemy of ours right now. I still, can't let you leave with that. So they fight him at least. I don't think they kill Lex, but at least
No,
you
no,
know
no,
long enough for them to be able to get out.
no. It's important. Yeah, they escape. It's like, yeah, Lex is like, it's like, I need that because I can't afford anyone else to kill Superman.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So now, lastly, they finally get to the Force of Solitude, and they
So how do they
like,
find it?
hmm?
Oh, right, Star Labs. Right, Star Labs.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they were able to get like the schematics and
Star
like
Labs.
every information about it from Star Labs. Yeah.
Okay.
I could even see a thing where like while they're at LexCorp, they're able to commandeer a ship that's like that they fly away from to the North
Hmm.
Pole.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and here in in Star Labs in the Force of Solitude, this is where like it's it's since with it being the third stage, this is definitely be the hardest one where stealth is vitally important at this point in the game because yeah, like if you trigger security, if like something goes wrong, then yeah, there's like either a countdown or like that Superman is coming, and if he comes, like if did you have
I was about to say, I was
yeah
gonna add, I was like, I don't know if stealth would be an option. Like if Crypto's there, I mean, you can't hide from him. A dog with super hearing and super smelling.
it's good. I didn't think about that.
Right?
Yeah, Waller might not even know about the dog.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking. He's like, do you guys hear that? I'm like, dog. Oh, what? Oh my god.
Ooh, a crypto mini boss is such a good idea. Wow, yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Like you wouldn't think about it until it happens. You're like, how did I not think of that?
Yeah. Yeah, and like you don't want to waste your kryptonite bullet on this dog, but like,
Right, you might have to.
mm, yeah, that's good. Um, okay, I like that. I'm gonna write that down.
Nice.
Okay, okay. So yeah, at this point, you I guess somehow beat crypto. Um, um, you're again, I'm not entirely sure how exactly I want it to be framed, but I definitely want at least part of the team going after the supercomputer and at least one or two members going after the phantom zone generator. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I want the entire team to know that it exists or if just like, you know, one or two members or whatever. I also
If it,
kind of sorry, go.
I was, if it were to be like one or two members, would you be able to pick which ones, or would it be random, or would like I don't know.
Yeah, that's that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, as much as I like the idea of it being a roguelike game, I also kind of toyed around with the idea of there being like essentially canon deaths along the way, but
Okay.
that could also potentially be like, oh, we have after, let's say, let's say Blockbuster dies fighting Luther or something, or like some big explosion happens in LexCorp and he stayed behind to make it happen. But like, when you're in the Forces of Solitude, some players might be like, oh, I kind of wish I had Blockbuster in these moments because that would have been, you know, that would
Would have
made
been
this more
super
fun or
helpful.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I want that to play, but I kind of like the idea of like of you picking who goes to do what, especially if there are
Okay.
like assuming like if canonically Killer Frost is the one that's been tasked to get the Phantom Zone generator. If she dies at some point, then that plot line just is gone. I don't know if I like that.
Makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
Um, and I don't know exactly how I want this to play out, but for some reason, I really like the idea of Metallo kind of following them as they're doing this to the point where like
Hmm.
Metallo like essentially is like the big final boss of the game.
Hmm.
Kind of like
Okay.
in a Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, where like the entire time they're being chased by Vandal Savage and his people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I just love the idea of Metallo, like somehow, like obviously there's gonna be some fight against Superman at the end, but like I could okay. How about this? How about this idea that like you're fighting Superman, and I could
Okay.
even see a thing where like where the Superman fight is one of those video game fights where like you can't actually win, at least at first.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, even like it could be even a thing where like you try to shoot the kryptonite bullet, but he's either too fast or like lasers it or something. Or yeah. Um, so like you're fighting him the best you can, but like and your teammates are going down left and right, and then like he like about to like not kill you, but beat the last one of you, and then all of a
Mm.
sudden like a beam of kryptonite comes out of nowhere and knocks him down, and then Metallo walks up and is like like oh you made it so easy for me to finally breach this place, and then I want Metallo to like essentially link up with all the crazy technology in the Force of Solitude, turn into this like giant,
Oh.
giant techno thing, like fly around, shoot missiles and stuff. Just Again, it would be very hard. This is where a lot of runs will end for sure.
That's actually smart, though. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and like and like you fight them, and then I am mad. I picture somebody like as a finishing blow, they turn on the phantom generator and suck him into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like his.
Um,
That's like the end for him.
I mean, he's in the phantom zone. You could,
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as we know, because I mean, they
yeah,
probably don't even know what the Phantom Zone does.
yeah. Like I could easily see like Harley Quinn like picking it up and just like and using it just as a hail mary. Um,
Mm, yeah,
the
definitely
the
does sound good.
only thing that I'm like not sure at all about is canonically how do they get out? How like and what do they get out with? Because I don't think they're actually going to get out
I
with
mean,
the Phantom Zone generator. Superman wouldn't let that happen. I don't
no,
think.
I would think. Well, I kind of have it like maybe I could see the fight as they get to the Fortress of Solitude. Metallo shows up first,
Mm.
gets linked up with the Fortress of Solitude's technology, becomes his ultimate conglomerate, and right before you get wasted, then Superman shows up, and kind of your task is escape while the carnage is going on and try not to die.
Uh
Does that
huh.
make sense?
Yeah. I. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot.
Hmm. Because it's like you're not going to beat Superman. You're not going to beat Super Ultra Hall of Weapons absorbed Metallo. So
Mm-hmm.
like run or die kind of. I don't know. I do like those concepts in games where it's just like you
Mm-hmm.
canonically are just not built for the moment. So it's just
Right.
kind of like, yeah, what are we gonna do?
I could even. I also. I kind of like the idea of like while you're fighting Metallo, you at least need to hold him off long enough for Gizmo or whoever to get the information off of the supercomputer. And that won't just be a
Mm-hmm.
instantaneous thing. Um, I don't know if that moment would happen during the first fight or like while Superman and him are fighting, but yeah, I
That makes sense.
yeah.
Like there's a time limit you have to hold out until basically.
Mm, yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah, I like that because yeah, if they did just use the Phantom Zone generator on Metallo and then Superman wakes back up, like he's not going to be out for the entire time that's that's happening. He's gonna like he should wake up before you're able to leave or
Right.
whatever. But yeah, I like
That'd
he's
be pretty.
completely distracted. And yeah, you're able to like just barely get out as the place is crumbling around you.
Right. You're
Yeah,
you're running for your life. Everything's crumbling. We're all,
people are left behind. You
we're
don't care anymore. Just leave. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, Waller, screw it, Waller, this whole thing, this whole stupid thing was your idea. This is dumb.
Mm,
Whatever.
yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot.
I
Yeah.
like that too. That was really cool.
Mhm.
I think Metallo's inclusion was pretty solid because I don't know, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Mm.
And the
Yeah.
potential of getting the force to weapons
Mm,
and whatnot.
again, I don't really know exactly how involved I want Metallo to be in the story. Like, I don't know if I want him to like show up any earlier or be hinted at earlier, if he's just there at the end, or like what exactly his role will be. But I definitely want him to be there at the end. I just like the idea
Mm.
of villains being involved in the Suicide Squad stories.
Right.
I like
And
that.
it makes sense that they would be there. It's just kind of like, yeah, just like, sure, why not?
Yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. I like that. Also, too, like, so I like the idea you have where it's kind of like there's multiple ways of playing it through and different, how you lose different characters changes things. Do you potentially change your loadout of a squad, or is it always all seven with you at all times for every mission?
Um.
Because I feel like if you're doing a stealth mission, do you really need to bring, blockbuster with you who pretty much is impossible to be stealthy when you weigh 1,000
Yeah,
pounds.
I the way I kind of pictured it is essentially like while you're going through, let's say, Star Labs, um, there's like several points throughout where like you kind of break off into teams, and you can like you basically play one of the team missions, and then you play another one of the team missions, and like you converge back
Mm.
later, and you pick who goes where.
Okay, I like that. I like that. That's smart. It's like actually like splitting up the missions your way. It's like, all right, me, Frost, whoever will go this way, then you, whoever will go there. We'll do this, get that, rendezvous back here, and then
Yeah, because
one or both sides screws the pooch, and now we all have to run.
right, like I could easily see like basically a Predator map, from the Arkham games with Deadshot and a Black Spider, where like Spider's whole thing is, sneaking around, trying not to be detected, or like, choking out people, or Deadshot is like perched up on top, like sniping.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then like they both do it flawlessly, and then like they get out, and then they see Harley Quinn and Boomerang just like running down a hallway, like being chased by robots. Like, come on, guys.
Amateurs.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. I like that.
Mm, yeah.
So, oh, if you
Yes.
so if you pick multiple, if you pick teams for battles, does that mean that's going to be your team for a potential boss fight that comes that team's way? And if you pick the wrong
Mm,
members, you might be out of luck. And then maybe I should have chose this person to go this way.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I like
Again,
that. I
I
like
think that
that.
does help with the rogue element, where, when you play through again, because you will, when you play through again, yeah, switch it up, see if that's any better. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, just yeah. I I like how that turned out.
I do like that. That's actually
Yeah,
pretty cool. And
yeah.
also, too, let's see, what other? I'm trying to think. What other additions? We had Star Labs, fight with Metamorpho, potentially go to Lex. I mean, I guess go to LexCorp is like. So, wait, do we actually end up using the Kryptonite bullet?
By the end of our discussion, I'm not sure if we do. um,
Because
yeah,
I feel like
like
that would be a good, like, if you got it, maybe it helps somehow, but maybe it doesn't.
hmm
Or you just miss. I think that'd be hilarious. Like you do all that work and then Deadshot misses, and it's just like, I thought you couldn't miss. Shut up, like,
Actually, you do better.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I like
Mm.
obviously, if I were like actually making the game, it would, it would, I would have to iron out some kinks. But overall, I kind of like how this turned out.
Yeah.
However, while I was developing this story, like I kind of went down a spiral of like a game I kind of like even more, where
Oh.
it's like, so remember that kind of offhand comment Waller made about Rick Flag briefing this other team for a covert mission.
Hmm.
Yeah. So essentially, what what the conceit of this second, either sequel or like a I'm not exactly sure, like I'll say sequel, is um essentially, what if the like skeleton of the Suicide Squad game we got were made but changed slightly to just feel better. And like again, it's got my cogs going, and I think I found something that
Okay.
feels really cool
Elaborate.
to me. So, um, the mission that Rick Flag was going on is in Gorilla City. There has been a regime change, and like
Okay.
Gorilla Grodd has taken out the gray one. I don't remember his name. Like he's usurped
Yeah.
him, And Waller feels like this is not in the USA's best interest. So he's
Probably.
like, "You,
Yeah.
Rick Flag, you take this group of villains into Gorilla City and neutralize them." Well, that didn't go well. So like you know after the team gets back from this mission, or after the sequel takes place very shortly after the first one, which is kind of why I think canon deaths should be a thing where like not everyone from the first game comes back, but a couple characters do, like at least Harley Quinn, Boomerang, Deadshot come back,
Okay.
and like a couple other ones who fill similar roles can be slotted in. Um, like okay, team. So like Rick Flag and his team were in Gorilla City, and they are presumed dead. Since Rick Flag is U.S. property, we need y'all to go in there and get him for me.
He's U.S. property. Go get him. Is
But doesn't that sound like
crazy.
something Waller would say?
Yes, which is why I'm so for it.
Yeah, spoilers are not dead. They're just mind control. um, which again, I just feel that that of that tier of mind control just feels like it works better in a Suicide Squad game where you're not fighting Green Lantern, you're fighting like Heatwave or Nightshade or someone like a villain on that tier,
Mm,
someone who like might be a little tricky, but you could feasibly do it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the team gets into Gorilla City, and one thing that I think is very important about this is the force field that Gorilla City is under somehow blocks the the bomb chip in the squad's neck. So like even though Amanda,
Ooh.
she knows their she knows they're mind controlled, but she can't just pop them.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I I I I don't know if that like is canon or whatever, but I feel like Gorilla City just being more advanced as it is, I feel like that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basic.
Um,
I mean, that would work. Yeah, you could
yeah.
find some way to make that doesn't feel too far fetched.
Mhm. Yeah. I could even see there being some member of the other squad that you're fighting against that like the team just for some reason cannot take down. That like the end goal of that fight is to get them outside of the city so Amanda can pop their head.
They
Yeah.
don't know that though.
Mhm. um, so here, this team is not even close to like fully structured, but I feel like these are the kind of characters that I would want filling out the enemy squad. Obviously, Rick
Okay.
Flag as like the team leader. We got KG Beast, Killer Croc,
Nice.
Nightshade,
Ooh.
Heatwave, who I think is fun because I want Captain Cold to be on our team. Um,
Okay.
Sportsmaster, Copperhead, and the Electrocutioner.
Okay. I like it. Good variety. I like it.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
And yeah, and yeah, there's. I like the idea of there being seven of them, and like they essentially have like once the moment happens where you find Rick Flag and he like reveals, I guess, like talking like as Garad talking through him is revealed that he's alive and actually evil now. Like the squad is kind of like your squad is kind of chased by the other squad. So
Hmm.
I kind of like the idea of like each of your squad members has like one evil squad member that they have to go up against.
Kind of
Like
their
it's not,
opposite.
yeah, like KG Beast is an expert marksman, so he obviously gets
Hmm.
Deadshot.
That
Heat Wave versus Captain Cold.
makes sense.
Um,
Blockbuster and Killer Croc probably.
I was thinking King Shark would be on this team,
Okay,
but yeah, King Shark versus Killer Croc.
that makes more. Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah,
That's even better.
like just them both being in the water. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be
Maybe Force
sick.
Force
Actually.
Master and Captain Boomerang would be a fun pairing. Um,
Sure.
yeah, yeah. Again, it's not. Like that team is not exactly 1-to-1, but I feel like yeah. That again, just that tier of character.
That feels
Um,
right though. I like that.
yeah. But like after they finally neutralize the other team members, get they finally uh, defeat Rick Flag. They get him up, off of mind control. They learn from Flag that yes, it was in Waller's best interest to to take out Girl Grodd. She was also very interested in his mind control technology.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like, ah, yes, Waller is horrible.
Yes. So it was like you know the the whole idea of like neck bombs are a good deterrent, but mind control even better.
I mean, it takes the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
Why bother?
Yeah. So like I kind of want a moment similar to the Suicide Squad movie where at least someone on the team, maybe it's Rick, maybe it's whoever else, like kind of after they put the pieces together as to why she wants it, like you know questions you know if they should
Do it.
just do it at all. And like obviously like they are gonna I think they are gonna fight Grodd if for no other reason than just like they as they're going throughout the city they do find these guerrilla people that are like resistance fighters, and they're kind of get swept up in that. They eventually find the silver, I can't remember his name, the silver gorilla who's in like some kind of underground prison, and they're able to
Mm.
break him out. And then they kind of confront Grodd, and they just conveniently the the mind control helmet gets lost in combat. They break it,
Oh,
on purpose.
yeah. Well, yeah, of course. It's like, oh no, couldn't be
Oh, King
helped.
Shark stepped on it. Sorry.
Oh, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's probably what they kind of like collectively come to the decision. Like, wait, guys, if Waller gets this, we're all in trouble.
Yeah. Like,
Makes sense.
yeah, like she would have no reason to keep giving time off her sentence if she can just mind control us forever. Like, we
Right.
can't. Yeah.
Can't just let her literally just. Yeah, that would not go well.
Mm. I also kind of like. I know that Gorilla Grodd is a Flash villain. I don't know if I want Flash to show up at all here. Like maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think he can show up. I just feel like if he does, it either has to be at the end or it has to be in a slight capacity doing something else. Because again, if Flash shows up, the game's over.
Hmm.
Or at least if Flash is done well.
Yeah, that's completely right. Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I just feel like it should be so easy to think Suicide Squad and then make a game about it, like actually based on something that Waller would want them to do. You know, that is within their realm of actually being able to do it reasonably well, not fight Green Lantern, not fight Superman when he's mind
Yeah,
controlled
I
by
mean,
Brainiac. Like what? Why?
I don't know. I still go back to what I said, where like I think this was just like the title was almost just like to solely to grab attention, and then they were like, oh, now we have to actually like do it, and they're like, wait, how do we do that?
I don't know.
They have to kind of let the writing kind of just fall to the wayside in order to
Mhm.
accomplish their goal.
Okay, whatever. Um, yeah. So yeah, I just really like this idea where you can still keep the mind control aspect. You can still, you can still do the team fighting a team of other people who, are maybe even slightly better than you, but you're able to overcome them.
Mm-hmm.
The fighting Nightshade, that's
That sounds awesome.
conceptually, it feels like a very cool fight where he's like going in and out of shadows, like treeing behind you and
Yeah,
like engulfing you,
I mean,
teleporting you places. Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, especially in a video game sense, that'd be really cool to see. Because like
Mm,
like I don't know, there's some bosses that I've played in games that are kind of like have similar ish power sets where like they can blend with shadows or teleport you in
hmm.
shadows, which is always trippy. So like, yeah, that definitely is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I want to keep the fact that Electrocutioner in Arkham Origins was a joke villain. Like, it
I
wasn't a boss
mean,
fight. You just got one shot.
he did get one that was pretty awesome. I mean, you don't have. I mean, this isn't. I mean, is this Arkham like adjacent or is this like its own thing?
I
I would
mean,
assume.
in the same way that Suicide Squad, the game we got, is Arkham adjacent. Like, it's
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, oh man, that's the big killer croc. Oh gosh, but
Yeah.
but I mean, if we're still making it in the same universe, then I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind. That'd be really awesome. I think it could really be cool.
Yeah. And originally, I kind of had this idea where like it can still be a live service game where like the base game starts with the first mission that I mentioned, and like as the game progresses, yes, more characters are added on that you can like swap in and out of on this mission, but also like other missions are added, like other like bigger story missions are added that you
Mm-hmm.
and like this Gorilla City mission could be, you know, once
Added
you beat
on.
the first mission, you can go on to this one, etc. So like some just other just very basic ideas like something with Justice League Watchtower like in the show. It doesn't have to be the exact
Mm-hmm.
same thing, but like get on the Watchtower. Assume the identity of random workers to steal something or beat or just do something. Um, I like the idea of there being an Arkham level.
Yeah, of
Batman
course.
show up maybe.
I don't know, I love the concept of just kind of like the reverse Batman Arkham, where like you're getting hunted down because they did do some
Yeah.
of that in the Suicide Squad game. Not
Yes.
as well as I would have liked, but it's just such a cool concept.
Hmm. Yeah, and again, just the very at its very core of Suicide Squad, I feel like at any point throughout the game, you should be afraid that any one of your members can go down. Like,
Yes, and actually be gone.
yes, yeah. And one thing I do really like about the game is like if you're in a mission and you go out of bounds, Waller pops you. It's like that's a really cool way to make it that you to make it the game be like you can't go this way. Here's why. Pop.
Oh, and like actually kill. Oh, that'd be terrible. I ain't gonna lie, that would make me so frustrated if that happened. Though I didn't know that was a boundary, but that feels pretty realistic, so it makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, like either way they do it, like either way I would do it. I'm not entirely sure if it wanted to be like one big game that's a live service game, or if I want the Grill City to be a sequel, etc. But like either way, I just feel like both the concepts I had just fit the team very well. Are are opponents and like situations that I feel they would naturally get into. They put in situations that makes the teams like I put together just utilize their abilities very well. I just yeah, I'm proud of what I did.
Yeah, it sounds really awesome. And again, I like the idea, just adding on things and maybe this there, just throwing ideas around. I think also helps a lot too.
Hmm.
I think it's pretty
Are there
cool.
any like major characters or situations that like you think I missed or would want to see? like one to see play out
Um,
in a game like this?
I mean, for ones that were obvious to me, I definitely like added at the time I thought of it, but like not really, because I mean, it's one of the things where it's like you don't want to make too many like cameos or show offs because then it's like hard to keep it grounded. Because like again, like you said, like a lot of heroes show up, then it's like, well, that this is over. But you also want to keep it, in the universe and keep it interesting.
Right. Like Metamorpho, I feel makes complete sense to be at Star Labs because like they
Yeah,
will study him. They want to just
yeah,
just feel like he would. I feel like he would be there. Um, Obviously, Superman would be in the fortress. Flash might show up with the Gorilla Grodd story happening. Like ones that make sense, I feel should potentially be there. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think about other villains that might just show up too, though. Like, I think that's interesting. Or like if someone else is also like, yeah, Grodd needs to be shut down, and like
Mm. Yeah.
I'm like, some like maybe the League of Assassins also isn't a fan of Grodd trying to
Yeah, I did.
potentially.
I did like kind of think about a Ra's al Ghul, at least like map or some story event happening at
Yeah,
some point in one of these. Um, like, I don't think Black Spider will be there for that fight, but like, um,
yeah. Or like, who else would
yeah.
not be happy about
You
Grodd's
could have
doing?
like, you could have an all girl squad go into Themyscira.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll see like some of the other one. Yeah, you could have what Quinn, Frost. Who else?
Um, Star Sapphire.
Star Sapphire would be a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
forget about her.
Copperhead's a girl sometimes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's
In Arkham
yeah,
Origins,
that's
she is.
yeah, I forgot about that. That was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Paradise. I do think yeah, definitely an Arkham thing would definitely be like super awesome.
Hmm.
Um,
If for no other reason than just to have, like, if like it doesn't have to be connected to the Arkham games, but like
I mean, if
if
it
if
is,
it's not connected to that, like have the Joker show up at some point.
yeah, oh yeah,
As
no, 100%. I mean, you should go to Arkham just to be like, good times. Remember that time we took over this place? Feels like it was years ago, and it's like, I see what you
uh,
did there.
yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
just I I just I really like the DC universe as a whole. I really think the idea has a lot of potential. Obviously, I don't think my idea is perfect, but I think what I did is just I personally like what I did better than what we got. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, I mean, what we got was not. I mean, at least for me, thematically, was not great. So I think that's not hard to beat. I think you did, but yeah, I don't know. We'll add it to the list of ideas. We're like, wow, why didn't they just make that instead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Bring up before we sign off?
Now just Avatar came out today. We are interested to see how it goes, but the cautious optimism is apparent. We will see. Haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet, but
Mm-hmm.
here we
Well,
go. Oh man,
we'll get on that later. Okay.
I want it to be good, but ugh.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care.